Hello everyone. I know that it has been a long time since I have popped on YouTube, and I did not have any intention of coming back. However, about 2 months ago, more like 4 or 5 months ago, I started to really miss crafting, and so I decided to come back. And I wasn't gonna do YouTube again, but the more I got into it again, and I'm still dabbling a lot, the more I got requests for videos. And so I thought, you know what? Why not? So here I am once again, and I'm going to work on this Song of Solomon's page because I'm doing a lot of art journaling. But the technique that I'm using, you could use outside of your Bible art. You could use this on cards. You could use it on anything. The verse is, "You are absolutely beautiful, my darling. There is no imperfections in you." So I'm going to sit down, put this page together with you, and just kind of chat about what has been going on for the last 2 years. Before I do that, let me just share with you what I'm using. These are the Layers of Beauty decorative mass stencils from Stampin' Up, and they coordinate with the Layers of Beauty stamp set, as well as the Stampin' Cut and Boss dies Layers of Beauty. So they're all here, and some other projects that I've made with these I'll share with you at the end of the video. But for this particular Bible art page, I'm going to just be using the stencils, and I will show you how these work. They're really cool. If you want anything that I'm using for Stampin' Up, please visit my link down below. I did sign up to be a demonstrator, and so I really enjoy their products. And so if you want to go ahead and just use that link, that would be awesome. You can find all of this. I think all of it's a bundle. And I'll show you again at the end what some other things I did with it. So this is the first stencil, and there's right here, there's a little notch with the number 1. And then here's the second stencil, and there's the number 2. And then again, number 3. And then number 4 and number 5. Alrighty. So going to be using these notches are going to be really, really important. And I'm just going to go ahead and go all in and use their new line. This is a new color line to them. And this is Peach Pie, Pretty in Pink, Shy Shamrock, Summer Splash, and then Petunia Pop. And I'm going to kind of get those set up a little bit here, like so. Alrighty. So what you want to do is, whenever you're using these, since these are layering stencils, is you want to decide on your page where you want to place the stencil. And then you're going to go ahead, once you decide your placement, and I think I want to do mine, I'm going to kind of go in, I'm going to do this a couple different, I'm going to use this a couple times on this page. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in right here for this first one, and I'm going to just pencil in that notch so I know where I need to lay down the next stencil. Right? Let me move that up a little bit for you. All right, so for this color, I want to use Pretty in Pink. And these, I like the stamps pads okay. They're a basic water-based dye ink stamp. So there's a lot of fun different things you can do with it. They slide like this. The sizing on it, I think, is awkward, but I think that they do that so that you'll have to buy the storage. So, but it's not horrible. It's just different. All right, I'm going to go in with a makeup brush because that's all I have. And then I'm just going to pick up some ink like so. And again, paying attention to where that notch is right there, making sure that I have it lined up. And I'm just going to start to blend through some of these colors. And as I do this, I'm just gonna make sure I'm not sliding around. So keep that up there with that little notch, the number 1 facing you in the right direction. All right, so basically what happened was I sold, actually I didn't sell, I donated all of my craft products right before I moved into my house. And the reason why I did that was I just really thought I was done. And I wanted a fresh start. And I just knew that I needed to move on. And so I donated all of them to my friend, and she sold them to buy hand warmers for the homeless people in the community. And so I thought that was awesome. And then all of a sudden I want to come back in and start to do it again. And I've had a couple questions with, well, do you think that that was really the best idea? Aren't you sorry you gave up, thousands of dollars of craft supplies? And the answer to that is no. And the reason is because I was able to go ahead and earn my master's of education, and I wrote a picture book. Those things would have never been done. I would have never done that had I not gotten rid of all my craft supplies. And you may be thinking, why? And that's because I started to feel like I was obligated to the companies that I was working with to put out videos. And it was taking up a lot of my time. And I would not have had the time to further my education and so on and so forth. So I really needed a fresh start. I needed to get away from the industry entirely and just focus on my new life as a single empty nester that, was a stay-at-home mom for years and now has gone back into the classroom. I needed to just focus on that. And I couldn't do it when I was making, 2 to 3 videos a week for the craft industry and not really getting paid. And so, they were nice. They gave me all the craft supplies that I wanted, and some companies did pay a nice amount for the videos, but, $125 to do a video, and then, I can't live on that. So I needed to up my value, and I've always wanted my MED. So that's what I did. And now that I'm on the other side of it, and I've earned my master's of education in English, and I also this is going to be different. I'm going to go in with peach pie. I should have started with this. Let's see how this looks. This may be crap. But I also wrote a picture book called Lockdown, and it's available worldwide. And so I would have never done those things had I stayed in crafting. And so I'm really glad that I did. But now that I'm on the other side of it, I have time again. And I miss this. And so I just was like, you know what? I need to just get back into it. And I just need to get back into it. Oh, I should have checked that before I started. Oh well. And so that's what I did. And with that being said, my craft space is very different now. I don't have an entire craft room, an entire studio to myself. Now I have the end of my beautiful gray marble table in my dining room, and 2 shelves and 3 baskets to house everything. But the cool thing is everything that I have, no one's given me. I've purchased it all. I love it. And also, I don't want to have that big of a stash again, which is going to be great for my friends because I'm going to go ahead and just sell when I'm done with a product. Like when I'm done with this entire line, Layers of Beauty, I'm not going to want it anymore. So I'm just going to offer it up for like 40% off of, retail value because there's going to be so much life left in it. But, so those things have changed for me. I'm teaching middle school English and I absolutely love it. It's so fun. I teach the writing portion, which makes sense, because of the creative writing that I do for my lockdown, my book. And I'm teaching summer school this summer. So that's exciting. My youngest has joined the Marines. He's going off to boot camp in August. My oldest is doing well at his job. He's living out on his own now, which is exciting. My daughter is doing fantastic. She works in the veterinary field and she has a great job. So, it was hard. Sometimes it still is hard, but it's been good. I've taken 3 years, and when I got divorced, I didn't have much. As far as I didn't have I had just gotten back into teaching, and I didn't have my credit, was shot because I didn't have credit because that wasn't allowed in the marriage to have a credit card. And so I moved into this apartment that I appreciated and it was super cute, but it was hard to start over like that when you're closer to 50 than you are to 40. And so I had to do things like get my credit score back up, and I worked hard. I got rejected by so many lenders for a home mortgage. Sorry, I have a hard time still doing more than one thing at a time. I got rejected a time because I didn't have a work history, because I was just entering into the classroom again, and I did not have, and I'm cleaning these off screen, by the way, with a baby wipe, and then I'm also, if you can't see right here, I'm wiping down this every time I use it. So it was hard. I found a lender. She was the wife of an associate pastor of the church that I was going to at the time. And she actually did a lot of underwriting and went to her boss and said, this isn't fair. This is a woman who, is good for a mortgage payment and whatnot. And they ended up granting me a loan for a house. And so I bought in this crazy market and now a homeowner. I have my dog back, which is awesome. And I've worked hard for the past 3 years. It's been hard, but it's been good. I'm super strong. I didn't realize how strong I was until I had to go through it all. And God has really blessed me with fantastic mentors and people to help me get on my feet again. Sadly, I did have to leave the church that I was attending. That was really, really heartbreaking. Probably one of the most heartbreaking things through the whole thing. And that was just because of a difference of opinion. One of the pastors had lied to me and about something really, really big, and I couldn't stay. And but with that, beauty came out of that. I'm now in a fantastic church that I am, God is just using to teach me and mentor me and love me and figure out who I am again. And so that's kind of what's been going on in my world. There we go. So isn't that such a pretty image? I really like it. And so I'm going to go ahead and do a couple more, I think, of this. And let me show you the clip art I'm going to use. And I'll come back and put this together with you. I don't know how much more of these you want to see me do. But so that's just what that looks like with that stamp. Now, I mean, with the lovely layer stencil, don't forget to erase your little mark on your paper. Usually when I do these Bible art journal pages, I will use a gesso on it. A clear gesso is my favorite because then you can still see the text. But for this particular, I don't like using gesso with stamp pads and stamp ink. I like it better for paint. But the trick is it doesn't protect the pages. So any kind of artwork that I do on the other side, like even right here, it bleeds through. So if I do, and I think that's a pretty bleed through though, don't you? That's lovely. Anyway, when I do the other side, if I do the other side, I am going to gesso the other side so that it doesn't bleed over into this. And I'm probably going to do this side a white gesso, just so that it won't show this. Or I might not, I don't know. Anyway, if you like that, I like the stencil the best with just the stencil. But if you want it to be a little bit more of a crisp edge, let me show you some samples real quick in the middle of this. This is what you can do. You can stamp the image first, and then you can stencil it in. So for this one, I did the peach pie first. And you guys, honestly, I should have laid it down like that instead of the way that I did it, but I was talking and I wasn't thinking. So these I did the same colors. So you see the difference here, how on this one, this is just the stencil. And then with this one, I layered on the stamped image over it as well. So that is one way that you can use the layering stencils with the stamp. Let me show you my other samples really quick as well. Another one that I did was with the, and this one. Okay, so this one right here, I don't know if you can tell, but this is all flat. So I didn't die cut this out at all, but I had die cut out another image of this and I stamped it first and then I die cut and it slipped. And I'm like, oh no. Well, don't get rid of those. Hang on to those because they can end up serving as your mask for your card or whatever piece of artwork you're working on. And that's what I did was, so I got this all done and then I'm like, you know what, that's really, really white. I like to darken up the background. So I took that messed up die cut that I had and used it as a mask. And I just went ahead with the blush pad and laid some ink down. And it gave it a really nice white outline as well, which I really like. Okay, so for this one, I'm not in love with this technique. I don't think I like the markers for me. I like alcohol markers, really good brush tip in markers. These are neat if you do a lot of writing or maybe even like, I don't know, creative writing, I think, these are good. This is the new color palette, the 2024 through 26 in color. And I use these to color this in. And it's cute, but it's just not my style. So I'm probably going to go ahead and get rid of these because it's just not my thing. But they do have alcohol markers that I want to try. So anyway, that's going to go. And then this one, there is a die cut that is just this portion of the flower. So I stamped the image, and on the 3 different cardstock pages that coordinate with these colors, and then I die cut them out, and then I just cut off the leaves. And then I used some layering stencils, not layering stencils, some pop dots. They're pop dots, which I really like. You guys, these are super clever. Whoop, let me let my dog out. All right, I forgot what I said. But anyway, so these little leaves right here came with the die cut set. And this is part of that design, the whole color family that they have going on. And then this paper is the designer series paper, I think. And I use that on these as well. You can see some of the pink popping through on the back on that. So for this one, yeah, I just stamped it on the cardstock, put these pop dots. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. These things, these are so smart. These are the dimensional ones. I like the black pop dots because I think that they blend better into the background. I like the honeycomb type way that they have cut these because nothing goes to waste. It's so sad when you have little pop dots that are circles and then you have all that leftover space. And I would always cut that apart and still use it. Well, this makes it so much easier. It's such a really smart way to use these. I think it's a good bang for your buck. All right, from here. Now, if you want to watercolor and you don't have watercolor, there is a way to do that. If you have water-based dye ink, just smush some out on a glass mat, or even any mat really, as long as you can, it's not porous. And take a little bit of water and a brush and just paint with it. And you will get a watercolor effect. That's what I did on this right here. Another tip that I have for you when doing this is to make sure that you emboss your image first, because what that will do is it'll give it a little bit of a wall and you will be able to color in the lines, so to speak. But always use your Misty because I'm so glad I did, especially on this one. When I colored this in with these, it went over the lines and it kind of got smudged. So I went back and I re-stamped with a Misty and it just crisped it up and it hid a lot of the imperfections in the whole thing. And this same thing is I stamped it, layered, stenciled it, and then I stamped it again. So that's kind of my tip with that. And that's just a couple fun ways that you can use your coordinating stamps, dies, and stencils. I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of this done. I don't think I'm going to record it because I've been talking a lot today, but I will come back before I assemble the whole page so you can kind of see what I do. Bible Art Journal is going to be my number one right now because I really need like that. I will always need Jesus in my life, but this whole process, everything I've gone through has really strengthened my relationship with the Lord, and I've grown in so much more faith with him. And so I really want every area of my life to be centered around him, and that includes my art. Before I continued, I was going to put this down, but I just wanted you to see the final background on it. I think it's lovely. I originally wanted to put all three of these girls on here. You guys, I'm so sorry. I don't know the name of the company that I got this through. It was an Etsy one, and I saw them, I liked them, cut them out a while ago, and I don't know. I'm so sorry. I hate to do that to you, but it's really busy. This one doesn't match. And so I'm like, well, maybe if I do two, then it's like, well, no, you know what? I love the background. So I'm going to do one. And I'm going to put her about here. And then what I'm going to do is I have to still date it. I like to date all of my pages. And then I'm going to take some of my Nuvo Dream Drops and just sprinkle them all over the place. And then I think we're going to call it good. So let me tell you a little bit about the verse that I decided on. This is Song of Solomon's. Song of Songs, excuse me. And it is chapter 4, verse 7. You are absolutely beautiful, my darling. There is no imperfections in you. I originally wanted to do the one in Ephesians. However, I already had that page done. So I did, if you hear someone panting, it's my dog. So I opted for this, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. Sorry, I digress. To adhere these, I'm going to use the diary glue stick. Normally, I would use Dina Wakley or the Wanger gel medium. However, this is a water-based ink here, and so I don't want to smear it, and it will smear. So, and that I like that also because it seals and it kind of leaves a glossy finish. But I don't want anything to smear. I'm not going to be beating up the Bible. So this glue stick will do just fine to adhere this, and it won't disturb my gorgeous roses. And the more I think about these flowers, I think I'm actually going to keep this set because I think it's something that I can use over and over again. But I have some other sets that I want to just play with and then get rid of. So anyway, as I do this, let me tell you about why I decided on this verse. All right, so when I was working on my master's and publishing my book, my schedule was really packed, and I was also teaching, and I was on a fast track for my MED. Instead of it taking me 2 years, it took me about 16 months because I just wanted to get it over with. And so with that, I had to let other things go in my life. And one of the things that I started to do was do more takeout when I had a paper due or something that I needed to come home to. I know I'm putting a lot of glue on this. And so I did that. Then on December 31st, 2023, my mom fell. And she fractured her femur. She's elderly, and it rocked my world. She's in another state. And so I and my brother had to basically handle all of her care. And we had to find where she was gonna live. And we had to sell her place and, talk to the doctors and all of that jazz. It was a lot. It was a lot. And so I did not want to stop my coursework. I needed to get it done. And I had to let the gym go. So I wasn't exercising anymore. My schedule basically was I would wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I would do 3 hours of homework. Then I would get ready. I would go to work. I would teach. I would come home in the evening. I'd get home at about 4. And then I would have to make calls and answer emails regarding my mom's care. And that ran me into 6 or 7 o'clock at night. I would chug dinner down. And then I would do homework until 11, and I repeat the process. And I did this for months. My days were packed. I had no time for anything, much less going to the gym. I knew that I was sacrificing my health, and it was not an ideal, but I also knew it was just going to be until I got done. Well, fast forward to now, it's all done. I went to the doctor, knock on, well, that's glass. And luckily my blood work is okay, but I have to really get myself back together. And God reminded me, and I know that this is, I don't like it when people are like, love yourself, because it sounds so selfish, and I get it. But God loves each of us so much that he wants us. It says, love your neighbor as thyself, obviously we're supposed to love ourselves. God created us. We are his temple. And so I need to start to love myself as much as I was loving my mom and caring for her needs. I have to care for me now too. So now that I have that time, that's what I'm focusing on. I'm incorporating, not focusing all my time on that, but I'm getting that back into my system again. Back into my routine again. And that's what this is I just thought that this was just such a nice Bible art journal to remind me that God loves me and I have an obligation to take care of the things that he's entrusted to me, which includes my body. But with that being said, this is not like, I love this girl because she's not like a perfect body. I'm not looking for perfection or anything like that. But you know, you have to love yourself where you are right now today, because it's only when you love something that you take care of it. If you don't love it, then you're not going to take care of it. So that's kind of where I feel like I am right now, is at this moment in time where I have to love myself by taking care of it. I don't know if that makes any sense. All right. Sorry, I was trying to find my date. Okay, so now I'm just going to pop this date on in a couple of places. Probably down here. I always like to do it. I'm weird. I know. I'm so weird. It's like, oh. All right, there we go. There's that. Let me finish off with this. So anyway, it's great to be back. I can't tell you what my YouTube's gonna look like at this point, just because, you know, I have summer right now, so I'll probably be able to do a lot more videos and things, but also I've been demonetized, obviously, because I haven't put anything out, so I'm not making any money on the videos, so I have to think about things like that, because a girl gotta eat, you know, there's that. But I just wanted to come on and start to share again. And again, my Stampin' Up! Link is going to be in the profile, the description box down below. So if you're interested in anything I use, you can find that there. Also, I will list my other affiliated links down there for anything else, kind of my go-to places. And yeah, oh my goodness, I love this. This is so cute. All right, let me finish this up. I've talked your ear off today. I know we've had a lot of catching up. If you have any questions for me at all, please feel free to leave them in the comment below. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing. If that's something that you feel so inclined to do. I don't like where I put this placement of this one. That would really help, I guess. I don't know. I'm not making any money on this anymore, so I don't know what's going to help anymore. If you like it, share it. There you go. It's up to you. I'm not making a dime on this video yet. Like I said, I have been demonetized because I have not put anything out, so I get it. Also, let me know if you saw any commercials in this, because since I'm not monetized, I don't know if they're even like showing commercials on my channel. So that's kind of a good thing for not being monetized, if you don't have to see the commercials. If you do, please watch them, because that does help your favorite creators create. That's how they get paid, is off of those. I don't know if you know that or not, but yeah, those pesky commercials are beneficial to them. That's how they are able to bring you guys free content, is through the ads. Anyway, my game is so off with YouTube. It's been forever. You're also going to notice that I'm not, a lot of what I'm doing is the same stuff that I was doing 2 years ago. You know, I'm sure that there's been a lot of changes in the industry, but I had been in the industry for so long that it was like all they did was just the same thing in a different cycle. So I know what I like, I know what works, and I'm gonna you're gonna see that. That's what I'm gonna stick to as I move forward with this. All right, I hope you enjoyed this page. And again, drop me a hello down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do so. And you can always share this anywhere you want. All right, until next time, I am not Betz Golden. I'm not, but keep it crafty.